AgriGold, we know corn.
Hi, I'm John Brien with AgriGold. We're out here in a cornfield today trying to answer a question that's on many of your minds. Can my corn make it before frost? As of the 20th of May, we only had about 50% of the corn crop planted in the state of Ohio, meaning we had 50% of the corn crop to plant at the end of May and the beginning of June. The last several years we've been pretty good. We planted corn at the end of May, beginning of June, and have gotten along very well. But our summer's been cool and drawn out. A lot of growers are asking, can I get my corn finished before it frosts? So today my goal is just to hopefully give you a few pointers, a few things to look at so you can make that assessment on your farm. One of the important things that we need to keep in mind when it comes to late planted corn, and any corn in general, are growing degree units. Growing degree units are very critical in corn plants' growth and development. They are what makes a corn plant grow. The more heat, the faster it grows, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that we understand the GDU requirements of corn and how that changes with late planting. So studies done by The Ohio State University and Purdue University have found that on average, a corn plant needs about 6.8 less GDUs to finish every day after May 1st. So that's good news for those who planted late. That means that corn doesn't need quite as many growing degree units to finish as corn planted the first part of May. So if you're looking at a typical 110-day corn, you're going to need about 2,700 units of GD units to black layer. So planted the end of May, that number actually goes down to about 2,600 growing degree units. So when it comes to GD requirements and planting late, 2011 comes to mind. We planted a lot of corn June 1st through the June 8th. That year we had a lot of corn yield and it dried down very well. So planting June 1st this year, there wasn't a lot of hesitation in most growers' minds. But let's just look at GDUs from 2011 to date versus 2011. And we're about 250 heat units behind same time frame. That's roughly 10 to 15 days behind 2011. So if you're expecting extremely dry corn planted June 1st, Mother Nature and GDUs are not on our side. We were actually almost 10 days to 2 weeks behind where we were in 2011. In this particular field, we have a whole variety of stages of corn. So you can go out to your field and kind of assess where you're at and determine whether or not you're going to make it. The ear we have here just pollinated. We just got through pollination and we just started grain fill. These other ears are a progression along to dough stage. So it kind of shows you the progression of where we're at. If your ears are in these first two stages, the likelihood of us making it before black layer are extremely slim. We need a lot of GDUs to get this to finish. If your corn is in blister stage, similar to this one here in the middle, depending on the maturity, if you're relatively early maturity for your area, there's still a very good chance, if we have warm weather through September, that we can have this finished before October 1st. But these two ears on the outside, these are progressing along nicely. These won't have any trouble finishing, denting, and black layering prior to an early frost. Now, just because it black layers before frost, the next question is getting it dried down. We're going to need about 300 GDUs in order to get corn dried down from black layer to 25%. That's going to be very dependent on our weather in September and October. Typically in the state of Ohio, we get to October 1st and we have very few heat units. Worst case scenario, let's say you have a cornfield that did not black layer prior to a killing frost event. That corn will black layer because it got frosted, not because it's mature. So when that happens, there's several things we need to keep in mind. One, dry down's not going to be very good. It's going to dry down pretty slow once it gets frosted. The second of all, the kernels are going to be very light test weight. They're going to be very soft. So harvesting, we're going to take extra care with our combine, make sure we're running everything as slow as we can, making sure all of our chains and feeder house chains are tight and running adequate. And then when it comes to drying, Frosted corn is very hard to dry. It takes a lot of heat to dry that corn down, and storability can be a problem. My suggestion is, if you have a field that gets frosted, to either dry it at home, but more importantly, make sure you take that to town to get it off your hands so you don't have any storing issues down the road.